Good morning. I pray that you all are having an amazing Monday and start to your week. Welcome to the M633 Seeking the Kingdom podcast, where this is a space for conversation that helps us put God first while walking confidently in the promise that He will provide the rest. I'm your host, Liz, and welcome to episode 10. You guys, this episode is going to be a little bit different today. As you can tell, I am not in my usual setting, but I will talk about that briefly in a moment here. Please, guys, like, share, subscribe, share this video with anyone who you feel will bless and important to their life just as much as it is important to yours. We're on all of these platforms here, so there's no reason to not be within community. We are still in our Worldly Detox series.
Wake up!
Been sleeping for too long. Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up! Please, wake up.
And before we get into that, I just want to give just a little bit of a life update. I want to first apologize to my growing community that I have been absent for 3 weeks. I have been feeling very spiritually overwhelmed. I wouldn't even say spiritually fatigued, but just feeling a lot of the weight of what is going on in the world right now. I remember when I first came into knowing about how demonic this world really was when it came to like our food, the clothes that we wear, products that we use. Afterwards, I was sitting on my bed just like boo-hooing, because I finally woke up to realize the world that we truly live in. And it's sickening. It's very sickening. Thinking that I went through all of that back then, I thought that I would have been a little stronger doing more research for the episode. But you guys, I'm not gonna lie, it put me kind of back in that spot. Things that we did not know that we've been partaking in and essentially coming into agreement with all this time. I had to take a step back to really regroup. Also, if y'all don't know, I am mostly an introvert, but I know how to be extroverted when need be. And also, I'm very extroverted once, a person gets to know me. I'm more so interpersonal than I am about this internet life. You guys, I am so grateful, so thankful that God has entrusted me with the ministry and with this podcast. I have definitely turned into an iPod kid. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot for a little bit. And that's not to say I'm giving up. I'm just learning how to maneuver and what works, for me and what works better for the ministry and my stewardship. I've just been focusing on better stewardship. As you all know, I live in a different state from my hometown. I made friends when I first moved here, but now I'm starting to come into like my actual village of people who have been sticking around for some time. And just like I said, learning to find the balance. I'm gonna pray for these friends. God gave me friends. Friends want to do things, and you have to show up for your friends. And I've been finding the balance. They have helped me, whether they know it or not. They have helped me in this ministry in one shape, form, or another. I'm so thankful and grateful that all of my friendships have been spirit-led. I think that's very important and key when you are in your spiritual walk and spiritual journey, and just in life in general. You shouldn't have bad people around you. I've been focusing really on pouring into the people and things that, God has blessed me with here in Texas. So, like I said, I apologize for my absence. I am back, and we are talking about the food, the products, and just how they do not have our best interest at heart. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. In this video, I'm going to be using a couple of visual aids from fellow believers who have come into the knowing and can explain it just a little better than I can. But if you guys don't already know, there's always been a spiritual war going on. And now, as time has progressed, we are seeing an influx of the chemical warfare that the has been implementing. And first and foremost, we are going to start with our food. You guys, America has been and they don't care.
We do not care.
They have covered it up by saying that there's not enough natural resources here to feed Americans in the most healthy way possible. Therefore, they started to modify things, put different chemicals, toxins in our foods. Even the foods that we deem healthy, we cannot trust. So, starting off first with our produce.
Let's play a little game of guess which country this is in. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break. You guys, I got a rubbery avocado. Wait, I need to show you this. This is insane. Oh, disgusting. Banana is not supposed to bend that way.
But you look at this. Just look at this. This is supposed to be an orange.
For my just buy organic from the farmer's market crew, Exhibit A.
My mother and I went to a new farmer's market over the weekend, and so we wanted some produce, and we had a conversation with the people there and discussed all of the things. Hey, where are these sourced from? Is it GMO? Is it a peel? Yeah, so we got the clear that these were some locally grown produce, and so we were like, okay, let's go ahead and get us a few. It was not good. It didn't taste good, so I was like, you know what? Okay, no, I'm not eating that. So I decided to leave it out just for a little experimentation. So now it's been 24 hours, and this is the results.
Hey y'all, so I think I brought some fake strawberries again, and this is an organic brand. I'm gonna show y'all the brand when I get back in the house. But if these strawberries are still out here tomorrow untouched, I mean, if an ant don't even crawl on them, I will be throwing these away. It's just, I don't know, they just don't seem real. Like, look, same strawberries I threw out last night. Looks like something is on it. I don't know what that is.
That strawberry done killed that poor snail. Y'all come check this out. See, I'm just gonna be late for court fooling around with y'all. Look at my little garden. She's not much, but she's mine.
So just imagine if you went to the grocery store and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm done eating processed foods. I'm done eating snacks and, all the bad stuff, fast food, going vegetarian, going vegan, what have you. Even down to the produce. We cannot trust it. These are forever chemicals that will not leave or cannot be broken down and processed. So what do you think is going to happen to our organs, the systems? That is what is being attacked and affected. Next, let's move into our snacks, our processed foods, which isn't even a good word to say or label it as, but processed foods. So now we have to take into consideration of looking at everything on these packages and containers. Grocery shopping is going to take 2 hours now. I think about the less fortunate, even down to specific neighborhoods. You see what kind of stores are available to them, what kind of resources they have, and most of the time they aren't able to access fresh produce or go to your local butcher, see where it's coming from. So a lot of them, they have to resort to processed foods, processed snacks. About what it's doing to the children and their development, their brains. I was a sucker for some Skittles when I had learned about the color dyes that were in there that affect like your neurological growth. y'all, I'm shocked. I was talking to my coworker and she had recently just came back from Japan. Instantly, I was joking with her. I said, I was like, the food ain't hitting the same when you got back. And how was it? I said, just be careful, like don't be getting sick. And she started laughing because she was like, yes, the food over there is very much more fresh. There was fruit over there that we've never seen or like heard of that is, wonderful and has great benefits, for our bodies. There's another believer on here who said the exact same thing. It took 3 days for her body to be like, what the heck is this? What are you feeding me?
There is something wrong with the food in America, and I will die on this hill. Like, I've been back for 3 days and I immediately already have bloating, acid reflux, heartburn, and a stomach ache after every single meal I've had since I've been home. That's not normal, and we need to be talking about it.
It's just really sad. And like I said, they do not care.
We do not care.
Because what is their main goal here? Depopulation. Having sick people. Because sick people bring in money to the healthcare industry. That's their bread and butter.
The real reason nobody cared about health in America 50 years ago is because the government hadn't yet sold us out to major corporations, you know what I mean? Fast food, things like Pop-Tarts, cereals, snack foods, you were still getting like the whole food option of it, right? And then when they started tweaking it to try to make it last longer or taste better or be able to recreate it cheaper, or the packaging cheaper, whatever, that's when things started getting bad, man. And another thing you may not realize is, according to what these major corporations want to sell you, need to get rid of, or want to promote, that's which way the medical industry and the health industry in the United States blows, man. That's why you get the waves of high protein. Everything's got to be high protein or low fat or zero sugar or this type of oil or that type of oil. It all depends on what they're trying to sell you, man. A lot of times if they find something cheaper, oh my God, if we use this type of oil or fat or sugar or whatever, we're going to save so much money, even though it's like a cent a bar or a package, but times millions, that makes a big difference. So they'll try to sell you that this is what's good and this is what's bad, or they just rebrand it, or because America is for sale, man. Okay, it's a giant shopping mall. And that's why I like Spain and France and Italy, because they're not really for sale, man. Yeah.
Next up, we have our clothes. You guys, the amount of lawsuits that are coming about from these fashion houses, fast fashion brands, is astronomical. They are currently being sued for numerous things, but the main thing is by putting harmful toxins into the clothing. And just think, when you put these clothes on, our skin is absorbing these toxins. That's how it's getting into our bodies. These are forever chemicals, like I said, that cannot be processed or broken down. Why? What's the reason?
What was the reason?
Leave it to the companies. They say they use the material for better shaping, for better better preservation, and whatever excuses. So yeah, let's just
Here are all the clothing companies that are being sued right now in 2026 for either trying to poison us or trying to steal your information. If you wear clothes from any of these companies, please join these lawsuits, and I'm going to show you how you can get money from them. I'm going to try to make it super quick, but Lululemon is the first one. This one's actually devastating to me because half my closet is Lululemon. Basically, there's a huge investigation going on with them that they have PFAs in their clothing items. And if you don't know what PFAs are, they're literally called forever chemicals. They cannot be broken down in the human body or the environment. So when you wear those clothes, they seep into your skin, and that causes cancer and infertility. And then the next one is Fabletics. Basically, they have been unlawfully adding like their tariff charges on top of our purchases when we buy from Fabletics, when they should be paying those, not us. The next one is Shein, and they're actually being sued for two different things. One's a lawsuit, one's an investigation. The investigation is because basically they have cancer-causing chemicals and really high amounts of PFAs also in their clothing. I read something that it was like 3,200 times the legal limit of like cancer-causing chemicals in the clothes. Literally disgusting. And then their lawsuit is like they are being sued for having unsolicited text going out to people that were specifically on the like do not call or do not text list or whatever, and they're like spamming people with these texts. And then the next one is Abercrombie and Hollister, and basically they were using a deceptive practice called drip pricing for people that were buying on their websites, which means that they were like slapping on a handling fee at the end of checkout when people were being shown like really low prices or sale prices on the website, and then being hit with like a huge like checkout price at the end.
Also, am I tripping, or is there just a polyester epidemic going on here? Why on earth are we being charged, let alone paying, $100 plus for polyester clothing? Polyester is plastic.
This is how your new fancy polyester set was made. Synthetic fibers are made with plastic waste. Brands like Lululemon, Aloe, and Viore are charging hundreds of dollars for these clothes that are made for extremely cheap, which were never meant to be wrapped around our bodies and especially sweated in all day. Switching to natural fibers like hemp, cotton, and wool make a massive difference to reduce your microplastic exposure, lower your overall chemical exposure, are far less disruptive to your skin barrier, and can even have improved body temperature control and less odor. On the other hand, synthetic fibers can increase skin sensitivity, raise the probability of skin irritation and allergic reaction, along with far greater consequences found when people wear this stuff over a long period of time in studies. Some workout brands that do this right are Made the Label, which have far more organic cotton, Riker Clothing, and Pact, all of which I found on the Oasis app.
Next up, we have feminine hygiene products. And this is, of course, specifically for my ladies. Actually, gentlemen, if you're in here, this is for you too. You should definitely be looking and checking your hygiene products as well, because they're after you too. I just wanted to speak about the feminine hygiene products because I have unfortunately suffered consequences from these toxic products myself. So I can recall since high school dealing and battling with excruciating, painful menstrual cycles. I'm talking debilitating cramps, hot flashes, cold flashes, sweats, joint pain to the point where I could not move. It was extremely bad. Vomiting. It was really bad. I will say now I really only experience it maybe 2 to 3 times out the year, but back then it was very more frequent. And once I got down to the root, well, it was layers to the root, but the main issue was the pads and the tampons that I was using. Ladies, the enemy is after our wombs. He does not want to keep bringing in kingdom, holy people. Has always the brand had a lawsuit yet? They owe me some money. Don't get me started, y'all.
These are toxic and harming your hormones. They are actually filled with plastic and contain titanium dioxide, which is banned in many countries. What you put near your hoo-ha is important. But make sure you go for the non-herbal ones, because these herbal ones will have your hoo-ha on fire. Follow me for more healthy swaps.
Let's talk about Honey Pot. Now, if you're a Christian and you have a Facebook, there's a chance you've seen this post. One of my Facebook friends shared this post, and it speaks of how Honey Pot is rooted in witchcraft. According to the founder, an ancestor came to me in a dream and gifted me with the vision to heal myself. You can pause and read the rest. Now, if you need confirmation that it's on the website, there it is. Pause or read. Now, in the Bible, has God ever allowed a dead person to say something to somebody? Very rare. Moses was already dead when he came to talk to Jesus about his death. But notice how the purpose reflected back to God. And God confirmed it. He was there too. And there have been times whenever a loved one would pass, that dead loved one would be like, I'm in heaven, and glorify Jesus. But on the contrary, you have all these people saying that they're having vision of ancestors. Those are familiar spirits. I used to be in witchcraft for a very long time. I would send demons to people, tarot cards, voodoo doll, the whole nine. The Bible tells us the enemy can transform himself as an angel of light. We see their familiar spirits are forbidden. Those aren't your ancestors, they're demons.
To even see some brands on there that name and list themselves as cotton and organic, and they still aren't truthfully being honest with the ingredients, is diabolical. So you guys, be extremely careful. I'm going to place up actually the brand that I use and stick to. They have not done me wrong since I've converted, and I think I converted to them around maybe 2022. So yeah, guys, we have to be careful about any and everything at this point. And then just a couple of honorable mentions.
There are certain brands and products that you just do not need to be using because yes, they are demonic. And if you're not Christian, yes, everything is pretty much demonic. Start out with the most outrageous, most demonic, most craziest one out of all of these on this list. And that's liquid. The name alone, come on y'all. When I first seen them in stores, I was like, who is drinking this? They come up with literally crazy campaigns. And they're not campaigns, they are literal witchcraft demonic things. For instance, for Halloween, the canned water was cursed by a witch for Halloween. An actual witch. Just in time for Halloween, canned water brand Liquid hired a practicing witch to cast a hex on its October stock. Consumers of certified cursed liquid will become magnets for demons. And this is on their page, mind you. They're promoting this openly. And if that's not crazy, Liquid was literally inviting, and are still inviting people to sell their soul online or at events to join its Liquid Country Club and receive exclusive benefits. And oh, it's real. Look, these are the contracts. Here. People have actually signed these. Over 250-something thousand people have signed their soul away to Liquid. And in the contract, it says that you're making a covenant. You're literally making covenants with demons. People say, oh, it's just a gimmick, like it's all fun and games, ha ha ha, boo hoo hoo. I don't know what's fun about that, but I do not want to be part of it. Next product that you should all avoid, and that's this girl, Mary Ruth's Liquid Multivitamins. Oh, why is just vitamins, you might be asking? Because guess what they partnered with? Oh, that's right, Liquid. Sleep like the Guilty by association. Also, never trust any brand that blows up extremely big, especially in the food industry, because a lot of times those bigger corporations buy them out, or they force the owners to give up their business, and then they corrupt the formula, and then they feed you toxins and poisons. Dr. Bronner's soap, which is now called Magic Soap. Magic, voodoo, hoodoo. Why? And then remember when they put this scary picture in there? Why are we doing this? Next up on the list is Method. My sisters used to use this brand. Then all of a sudden they start coming out with these astrology bottles and fortune-telling bottles. The Innovator, Let Your Creativity Shine, Shower Reading Collection. Hold on, wait till you see the back. A psychic revelation? Make your visions a reality? Why? Why does everything have to go back to magic and witchcraft? Stuff is the sacred, oil ritual, a ritual? And everything's always ritualistic as well. But this should not surprise anybody because obviously it's created by the biggest demon in Hollywood. Need I say more? Next on the list, the sweet ladies, Honey Pot. This is the founder, the creator. Listen to what she said, how she came up with her recipe. I was suffering with bacterial vaginosis for 8 months when an ancestor came to me in a dream and gifted me with a vision to heal myself. With her help, I created the Honey Pot to solve for what other brands wouldn't. Some dead relative, some ancestor you ain't never met helped you create this? That's the hoodoo voodoo spooky for me. And lastly, you probably should have heard of this by now. If you haven't, have you been living under a rock? The Oreo cookie. We got the Freemason symbol. We got the Satanic cross. Oh, we got the Zodiac wheel.
Hey Bookie, I'm going to tell you some brands that are demonic. Let's go. The title. Start with the title. That's obvious. Look at the bottle. More Six, Charlotte Tilbury, that's her name. And this is the description for it. Just read it. What it is, a fragrance that's seduction in a bottle. Red flag number 2. Keep reading. Human ingredients, the magnetic blend feels like a rush of pure passion, creating a captivity chemistry that you cannot deny. This stuff is promoting, lust basically. Like it's trying to lead you into lust and sexual immorality. Demonic. Number 2, lust. The name again, come on now. Like this one too, like you have to be careful what you name your stuff. It's literally called perversion. Like it's not, when I say this stuff is demonic, I don't mean like, oh, the perfume itself, the liquid is demonic. It's like the people behind it, the intentions behind the names and stuff like that. Like it's called perversion. That's a demon too, lust.
And I seen this picture, the first thing came to my mind, I'm counting the number of Nike checks. It's 6 Nike checks. Do you not understand this? It's 6 Nike checks branded onto this person's back. This is demonic. This is not just racist. This is demonic.
Even down to our laundry detergents, soaps that we put on our skin, facial and skincare. It's in everything. And for my Latinos and Latinas, I got y'all too. The people at my job, the cleaning products that they be using, I was like, like I've never seen these or heard of these, but I forget that they're of Latin descent, so they have a lot of different other things. But I did the research on those. I got y'all. Let's take a look. Now we're going to go ahead and move into the technology. And I'm gonna keep it brief. It's a love-hate relationship down to the phones, the tablets, the television, anything that requires electricity at this point. We gotta be cautious, guys.
There are 3 kinds of EMF that are secretly killing us. The first and the most prominent one is RF. This is in the microwave spectrum, and it comes in the form of Bluetooth, 5G, and Wi-Fi. This research article shows that it can actually damage cells by activating voltage-gated calcium channels, which release too much calcium in the body. And this excess calcium causes something called oxidative stress, which leads to every single disease you can imagine. The second one is electric fields. These are emitted mainly from the power grid, and they can affect you when you're touching something that's charging or even being near a cable that's connected to the power grid. Electric fields damage you by raising your body voltage. Then lastly, there are magnetic fields. This is usually emitted by appliances with motors or heating components. These fields can cause chaos in the body because we are designed for the specific magnetic field of the earth. So having another magnetic field going in a random direction is not good at all. There are many things that one can do to avoid these fields, which I'll make future videos about, but a lot of it is unavoidable. So that's why you should be as healthy as possible so your body can better deal with EMFs. Use this as motivation to lock in.
This is 5-year-old Rose. She was one of 60 kids to undergo an exhaustive study in the US, using an MRI machine to scan the brains of kids aged 3 to 5 years old.
Wow.
The results, truly shocking. Interactive screen time causes a loss of white matter in the brain.
So white matter in the brain is a material called myelin. So what myelin does is it wraps around the axons of neurons and acts like an insulator, a conductor, not too dissimilar to the plastic coating of a wire. So if we're seeing deficits in myelin production early in life, we're probably seeing deficits in neural connectivity.
The study shows the more screen time a child is exposed to, the greater the loss of white matter.
Wow.
Can you remember your first reaction to those results, not only as a professional in this field, but as a father?
My gut reaction was, wow, I was not anticipating seeing anything like that. It hadn't occurred to me at the time that something as little as, and it said 2 hours a day, was having such a profound effect on the white matter associated with sort of language development. And by association, literacy, it was a shock, to be honest.
There you have it. It's been in our faces all this time. We just haven't been prevalent to the information and the background behind it. As far as the foods, like I said, we're just going to have to get a little better with reading the ingredient packages. I know that there are a lot of apps that are out there that can help you determine how toxic a product is. So maybe you guys could look into that, especially if you are unfamiliar with the different type of ingredients that are on the packaging, because half of them we can't even pronounce, which that's a red flag. When it comes to the clothing, when you're shopping in person, go ahead and pull that tag out, look at that tag and see what that material is made of. When you're online shopping, go into the description box and see what the clothing is made out of. And like I said, guys, why are we spending over $100 to, like I said, $20 for polyester clothing? We start resourcing out companies that have cotton, wool, silk, things that it is going to be a little bit more pricier. Just think about when it comes to the clothes, the fast fashion. Of course, it's cheap. You can buy a plethora of it, but it's not good for us and it's not good for the environment. As far as the feminine products, same thing. Try to look strictly for organic cotton, but like I said, sometimes they do be lying. I had a personal experience with the L brand. I didn't pick up Rael one time and just tried the L brand because they give you more in quantity. So I was like, oh, okay, let me try this. And I kid y'all not, I was good for the first month, but that second month, I went into having a whole menstrual episode. Y'all, it was horrible. I had to leave work early. Men, y'all have it lucky. As far as the technology, and I need to actually start implementing this when we go to bed at night, not putting our phones in our rooms, or some people have it on a nightstand, which is still next to our head. That EMF, that radiation is still coming through. I even seen some people, they will put their phone on, I believe, airplane mode, or turn the cellular data off or something like that. Let me put my tinfoil hat on. Wrap the phone in foil to help with the EMF and the radiation transfer. So yeah, it's maybe just start looking up different ways. Like I said, even not even having it in the room with you might help. Because yeah, it definitely makes a difference. Once again, guys, just turn your discernment up. Anytime that you feel something may look off or feel off, don't just keep going with it. The more that we pay for these products, the more that we use these products, we are coming into agreement with these brands, whether we know it or not. I, once again, do not want to give this message to bring on fear mongering. Just want us to all be aware of what is truly going on in this world. There is an attack spiritually, chemically. We can't ignore it anymore. I do want to close out with this scripture from the book of Luke, and it is chapter 10, verse 19. And it says, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. And even with that, that makes me think about saying grace over food, even small things like that. My best advice is to avoid it as much as possible, but I know, like I said, with resources, that's not always the case. But you guys, just use your discernment, always take it to the Lord, and move accordingly. And next week, we are going to be on our last episode for this series. I'm going to go ahead and close out. I've been working on a special project behind the scenes. I'm hoping and praying it will be ready by next week. I'm only saying that because I've been learning some new, editing and techniques, and even playing with AI just a little bit. You guys, I have a love-hate relationship with AI. You know what? Let's talk about it, because we've been talking about technology and everything. So even down to the AI, is it truly demonic or not? I don't know. Y'all drop in the comments. I'm gonna leave that to you. Let's go ahead and open up the discussion around that. And after completing the research for this episode and feeling the way that I felt, that is exactly what led me to creating my prayer closet. That is where I currently am right now. I have been in this closet just about every day since I've made it. I don't know if it's something I want to keep private, and also it's not all the way finished just yet, but it's very, very cozy in here. I like the lighting that I put in here, and I like my whole setup of how I can, read my Bible, how I can journal, and, put up my prayer requests, giving gratitude, etc. It's coming together. It really is coming together. I never thought that I would be here, and oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting emotional. Yeah, even after creating the closet and just sitting in here with God for a little bit and just, letting him know how I truly felt. Because a lot of the times, we tend to run from our emotions and our feelings when we're feeling overwhelmed, or we try to, use different things to cope. And in this season, I'm really just learning not to do that. I'm learning to not run from God. I'm learning to just literally take it to him, leave it at the altar, and just ask for his help to help us and help myself get through whatever it is. So yeah, that is why the setting is a little different today. Don't worry, we'll be back in our normal setting soon, but I've been kind of enjoying it really a lot in here. Also, I don't have to fight the echo. I'm telling y'all, I was fighting for my life with the echo in the other setting, but I love how it looks in there. It just gives a little more professional, a little more inviting and welcoming. So we'll be back soon. So I ask that you continue to pray for me as I pray for you, and I know that we all will get through this. We have no choice. I thank you guys so much. Please don't forget, we have the 3 playlists for you. There's enough secular music out here that is promoting everything that the enemy wants us to do, which is nothing but the path down to destruction. So please check those out. Please like, share, subscribe, share this video with anyone if you feel it has blessed you and you feel a blessing pour into their life as well. We're on all of these platforms here, so there's no reason to not be within community. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking by your girl. And please remember, seeking God first brings alignment, which reveals purpose, then catapults destiny. Continue being a light in this world. Until next time.